that true? Okay. Come on up. Do you need a wingman? Are you good?
I think I'll try and do it by myself.
Okay.
All right. I know this is supposed to be a time where I talk about my memories with her, and I'll get to that, but first I need a few people to know things. And I need you all to know that I'm not going to go in any certain order, and just because I don't mention you doesn't mean you're any less important to her. There's just a few moments and people who I need to know this stuff. And I want you all to know that I didn't write this stuff down because I would forget. I wrote it down because I knew that if I didn't, I'd get up here and not be able to put it into words. Because honestly, I have a feeling it's going to be really hard to get through this, and I know I'm going to cry, so just bear with me. Before I get started, there's a few quotes from a book that I just finished that really spoke to me that I felt I needed to share with you guys today. Does pain turn people away from their God? If so, pain can turn anyone away from just about anything. It is capable of causing you to do things you would otherwise never consider, such as blaming God for your unhappiness. Pain is such a simple word, yet packed with so much meaning. I've come to learn that pain is the strongest emotion one can feel. Unlike every other emotion, it is the only one that every human being is guaranteed to feel at some point. Their life, and there is no upside to pain, no positive aspect that can make you look at it from a different perspective. There's only the overwhelming sensation of pain itself. To me, even though it's the worst feeling to be in pain, whether it be physical or emotional, it is so important, especially in this type of situation. If you don't allow yourself to feel pain, you will never come to terms with what happened and allow yourself to heal. So even though it hurts, it's important, because allowing yourself to feel pain is the first step to healing. Faith. What does faith mean to you? Do you have faith in God or a higher being? Do you believe that faith can bring good things into a person's life? To me, faith is believing in something other than yourself. And I also believe that no two people could possibly share the same view of faith, whether it's only in religion or not. It is so important, whether it's faith in something higher or it's faith in another person, no matter what for, keep your faith in view. And finally, love. Love is the single most important emotion one can hold. Whether your love for God or your love for another, it's the most powerful, overwhelming, incredible experience. It's so amazing when you finally realize that you're capable of loving others more than yourself. It's quite possibly the most important moment in your life. The bond between a loved one or a family member and a partner is so alike yet so different. And to me, that's the beauty of the emotion, that love knows no bounds and has no limits. When I first sat down and thought about what I wanted to say, or pictures that I wanted to show you all today, I realized that I've never been one to take pictures. I just savor a moment. I never thought the day would come where I found myself reliving all these memories in my head with nothing to show for them. But in the moment, when you're enjoying someone's company so much, you don't think about things like taking pictures to savor that moment for later. So when I was trying to decide what to share, I found myself without words. Memories come flooding through my mind, but I just couldn't seem to put them in words. No memory, big or small, could ever be told in a way that does it justice, because it will never be the same as simply living through it and being there to create the memory. I feel that trying to describe it would just make the people who weren't there make it worse for them, because they didn't get the privilege of experiencing it. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to share them, but it would be too difficult for me personally. However, there's a few things, as I mentioned earlier, that I feel she would want me to share, about some people in her life. People who may not realize just how important they truly were to her and always will be. Brandon. Grandma would always brag about you to everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. She was always so incredibly proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. Your music, your dance, but mostly that you always follow your dreams and don't let anyone or anything stop you or tell you otherwise. She was always so proud of you for staying strong through everything that life has thrown at you. And I know that she's up there right now showing everyone your dance videos and the commercials you've done. But mostly, she's up there listening to you play piano for her. That was her favorite thing. And I know she's just going around showing all her new friends and loved ones that she went home to all of the songs that you wrote. She's saying, "That's my grandson. Isn't he amazing?" I am so proud of him, and I can't wait to see where life takes him. Keep your head up. I know it's going to be hard, but she loves you so much and was so proud to be your grandma. She told me all the time just how proud she was of you, and she would always ask if we had talked recently so she could get all the updates on you and what you were up to. Brittany. Brave, strong, beautiful, smart, sophisticated, amazing Brittany. I remember when Grandma found out that you had decided to change your career path and go into the medical field. She was so beyond proud of you for following your heart, even in the middle of a pandemic, and after already going all the way through cosmetology school. She knew how hard that must have been for you and was so proud of you for going after what you want and not letting anything stop you. I remember when she would come get her hair done by you. She would brag to everyone saying that my granddaughter did my hair, isn't it amazing? Or every time she got a compliment, which we all know was all the time, she would get the biggest smile on her face and with such pride in her voice say, "Thanks, my granddaughter Brittany did it. You should go see her, she's amazing." You were so important to her. She would always talk about you with the biggest smile and the sweetest grin whenever she would see your pictures on Facebook. She loved you so, so much. Please don't ever forget that. Tracy, Mom, you of all people need to understand what you meant to her. I remember that any time she would talk about you, it was never, "This is my daughter-in-law," or "This is the kid's mom." She would always say, "This is my daughter," in such a proud voice. She always told me how amazing you were and how beautiful you have always been. She would tell me stories all the time from before we were born. I remember not too long ago she came over to visit Josh and I, and she was so excited when I asked her to show me the house that you grew up in. She even went on to show us her old house that you guys lived in, and you were the first house that you and my dad bought together. She was so happy whenever she would tell me stories about you guys. And honestly, you have no idea how excited she was when you offered for you guys, or for her to move up to the hill with you. Just to be close to you and the horses, near family, in such an amazing, peaceful place. That was her heaven. She was so happy. She is so happy. Dad. No matter what happened between the two of you in the past, you need to know how much she loved you and never stopped loving you. Anytime that she talked to you, she would tell me how happy she was and update me on all the good things that you would talk to her about. She never lost her smile when she was talking about you. When you and Kat got married, I remember her saying how excited she was to get to meet her. She wanted you to be happy so bad. She always did, and she always will. She would always show me all of the puppy pictures you guys would send her. She was so proud that you felt the need or want to show her. She loved getting those and would always tell me stories from when you were a kid. She was and is very proud to be your mother. Uncle Chad, you have no idea how much she loved you. She would always tell me about all the fun trips that she would take to come see you and Alex and Cohen and Zoe. They were her absolute treasure. She would brag so much about the trips there to see you and how she got to spend time with the kids and how important they were to her. She showed me so many pictures from the visits, and not a single time did she lose her smile or let it get smaller. She treasured those times and would always talk about how amazing you were and how you had such a huge heart and were willing to do so much for people, even when you didn't want to, like doing your coworker's job for him. Every time she got off the phone with you, or after she had heard from you after a while, she would always get this smile, unlike any other that would light up the whole room. You two boys were her world, and she would do anything for you. And finally, Tasia. Oh, Tasia. You were such a blessing in her life, you have no idea. She talked about you so much and was always so proud of you. Anytime she got to see you and spend time with you, it made her day. She was always amazed by your generosity and love, and your love for everyone and everything around you. You always made her smile and laugh, and she was always excited about the things you were doing for your community and those around you. Always being willing to help others. Stay strong for her. I know it's going to be hard, but you and Andy were an absolute blessing in her and Chuck's life. Always remember that. My Grandma Connie was a lot of things to a lot of people. Too many to name. But what some of you may not know is what she was to me. Obviously, she was my grandma. But that title was the smallest title that she held to me. Mostly, she was my best friend, my lifeline, the person I knew I could go to anything with. She was my strength, my courage, my spirit, and my safe place. She was always there for me no matter what it was for or what I needed help with. I remember she bought me my prom dress my freshman year because I couldn't find anything that I liked or that fit. So she sat down with me and we picked one out online and she bought it and shipped it to her house without Grandpa knowing. When it came and I tried it on, she saw how disappointed I was that yet another dress didn't fit me right. So she stood me up on her coffee table and started making alterations to the dress, even though with her arthritis it was hard with all the small aspects. She always made sure that I looked my best for an event that was so important to me. Before I tried out for Tillamook Rodeo Queen, I was really stressing about what I was going to wear for horsemanship because I could not find anything that matched or that stood out. So she found a white pair of Wrangler jeans and got dye, and we stayed up all night trying to dye them that right shade of red. The perfect shade that would match the red shirt that I had bought with high hopes of finding a matching pair of jeans. Sadly, I didn't find them, but she was determined to help me make them, even though it ended up dyeing her washing machine pink. No matter what, she was always there to support me. She came to every school event, dance competition, graduation, gaming playdate, or queen event or tryouts that I had. She was always there cheering me on, all the way to the end. And honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do without her. On the morning of January 9th, I hadn't gotten any sleep that night, and I had no idea why. I finally decided to check my phone around 6 a.m. and saw that I had a new message from my mom telling me and my siblings to call her as soon as possible. I immediately panicked, dialed her number, and waited for her to pick up. As soon as I heard her voice, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what. That one thing that I never thought would ever happen, that I never even considered was a possibility. She's my grandma. She'll always be here to see me throughout all of my queening adventures, to be there for my wedding, when I have kids. She'll always be there. How could she not be? I need her. When I had heard that she passed away just 2 hours ago, my heart shattered into a million little pieces. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. I had no words. All I could think to myself was, that's not possible. I just saw her on Monday, and she promised me that she was going to be here for a long time, that her time here was nowhere near. And I thought I had nothing to worry about. All I could do was sit on my bed in silence and fight back the tears holding my blanket. Some of you may know, but when I was a little girl, my grandma made me a blanket out of my old bed skirt and curtains. And I hated that blanket till I was about 7 years old. But ever since, I can't sleep without it. Yeah, most of you know the famous blanket. And everyone gives me crap for still having it at the age of 19. But I still can't sleep without it. It's my comfort, and it always smells like home. Not the place, but the feeling. Well, now joke's on you, because I'm legit never getting rid of it now. When I left to head home Monday after visiting, I thought to myself how I just wanted one more of her famous back rubs, where she would climb in bed with me and snuggle me and rub my back until I fell asleep. It had been so long since I had done that with her, and I knew it would mean a lot for her to ask me for that again. I told myself, next time I see her, I'm going to ask her. Little did I know that I wouldn't get the chance. So now, I have my blanket, and I cuddle it every night so I can feel close to her again.